Our first project is titled Beyond Reuse. Exciting. Designing for disassembly, reassembly, and rebuilding. David has trained groups in 45 states and diverted over 100 million pounds of material from landfills. He's completed more than 5,000 projects, built 200 reclaimed content structures, and was even named National Deconstructor of the Year. IKEA wishes it were this easy, let me tell you. Please welcome to the stage our beloved Deconstruction Dave. And where this goes, nobody knows.
All right, thank you. I am so sick of those, man. I am sick of being sick. I'm sorry, I should know how to do my slides. There we go. Oh yes, I'm Deconstruction Dave, or a shell of my former self, you know what I mean? That's the next slide. I wasted one of my 10 slides to answer what is wrong with me. So I only have 9 left. So you asked, so that's where it hurts. Too long of a story. I only have 9 minutes left. A couple of things is I'm at this point in my career where I'm supposed to be, and don't call me an elder, by the way, Aaron. Elder advice or whatever you were saying earlier. I'm at a point where I should be able to stop, I guess, at 100. I love this slide. I haven't changed it for a while. Like, I haven't changed the numbers because it looks so cool. It's like all those descending, numbers there. We've saved a lot of material from the landfill, and we had to evolve over time. Actually, I didn't have to. I decided to kind of evolve the industry with me. One of the things that we realized along the way is that a single house, like a single average American home, is when you weigh it and then you find out what the average American wastes every day, it turns out that the average American home is equivalent in weight to the average lifetime's worth of waste in American's life. So that's if you demolish it, right? So we don't demolish it. We save the buildings instead of demolishing them. And one of the little numbers that have come out of that is 10,000 acres of standing forest that's still standing because of all the reclaimed wood we've saved. Now, we take buildings apart. In the past, it was always like, hey, you know what? I take buildings apart and I sell the parts, right? That seems pretty simple. But it's not sufficient now to describe what we do. And so we say that was reuse. Well, how do you go beyond reuse, right? You could leave it up to others, or you could take control. So we've taken control of the circular economy, at least our share of it. And we're taking apart this building. Now, we could have taken this building apart, and we could have sold the parts, but we chose to try and market it as a kit so that it could be reassembled somewhere else. And it was reassembled somewhere else. So it's the same building. It looks actually better now. I don't know how that's possible, but it looks better in its new home. And that is, I'm not sure how many of those, what we call reassembly projects, I'm not sure how many of those we've accomplished now, but it's amazing to see, essentially 100% of a building being reused as it was. And so it's not even just that we're reusing it in its existing form. That means you don't cut anything. You can't lose anything, you've got to save everything, but you don't need to cut anything because then it wouldn't be the right length anymore. So we do these reassembly projects. Now the slides are bouncing around on me here, but we decided to start building buildings. We weren't going to leave it up to the building industry to tell us what could be saved. And we weren't going to leave it up to anyone for something so important, to say, how can we get deconstruction to work? How can we do this on a larger scale? So we started building buildings. This is, I think this is building 239, something like that. And yesterday we started building 243. So we are building these buildings out of our own reclaimed materials. So that's how you go beyond reuse. If you have a building, you don't just put it out there to be reused. You reuse it yourself in the form of a kit. You don't just hope that somebody buys something. You repurpose it yourself. Maybe it's things that you had sitting around that weren't selling, things like that. So, but when we rebuild them, we try to design these buildings for disassembly. So now one of the things that I was going to tell the builders in this room about is that we have a guest build program now. So that we have builders that come in, maybe they're between projects, like they have a big project, then they have 5 weeks off, then they have another big project. And I'm saying, come and build a building with us, We'll provide you the materials, we'll provide you the space, and we'll provide you the power, things like that. Then you can build yourself a building, like this builder did. Vladimir, he built this. We went around the store. He found things he liked. We talked about design. This building is designed for disassembly. Things are screwed together. This actually built in 2 modules. The 2 modules are bolted together. And what it does is it makes it, if it ever needed to be relocated or when we move it to the buyer's property, we can unbolt it into 2 halves that are easily transported. So there's some other design features in there that are pretty fun, but design for disassembly, that's a big part of what we're doing. Instead of just talking about it, I do a lot of these talks, but you have to understand, I don't just talk, I do things, right? And then I talk about what I did. So I don't go around complaining, I don't go around wishing. If I think something should be done, I do it, and then I try to get it going all over North America. So like this idea, what we call not prefabricated panels, but post-fabricated panels, right? That's our post-fab panel line. We're taking what you guys had built, we're taking what the building industry had built, and we're preserving your work, right? We aren't just reversing your process. We are taking advantage of the skill and the labor and the sweat and the energy that you put into a project, and we're preserving that. We save nails for reuse, Tyvek, glue, spray foam insulation. Whatever is there is preserved in these intact assemblies, floors, walls, staircases, trusses, whatever. So they get reused. Let me just talk one more thing about that. When you think of emergency housing, right, for example, so we came up with a plan of an emergency housing unit. And that unit would be built with 1 floor and 4 walls from an existing building. We got to practice that and had it built in 1 day. So not only did I not have to know how to build anything, really, right? Because I didn't build the wall, you did. And I just didn't take it apart. So if I don't have to take it apart and our buyers don't have to put it back together, that makes it affordable. And affordability is the gateway to sustainability. That's the only way that something can be sustainable, is so that everyone can have it. So we've created a process where everyone is invited, everyone is welcome, everyone gets to participate, and everyone can afford what we're offering. This is not something where these things cost a lot of money. The emergency housing units we're talking about, are going to be under $1,500 each, the packages. So anyway, so what's the next step? What do you do if you want to go beyond reuse? You know, you just keep pushing. You keep pushing the limits. You never stop. This is the point where I'm supposed to stop, right? I'm sick, been sick since June. I've got everything going wrong, but I cannot stop. I keep signing up for talks like this where I have to hobble my way up here and talk for a little bit. But I'm so glad that we finally surpassed 100 circular businesses that we helped start. So we're helping start our 107th circular business through our training programs. So, and that's really the final slide here, but it's really saying, you know, when you figure out something that works and then you do it to a maximum level and you realize there's nothing more I can do, I need to involve other people. So that's what we're doing. We're taking all of these ideas, we're spreading it all over the nation, replicating our Reuse Innovation Center that you find in Bellingham. And that's it. That's my 10 slides. So.